whoever you are confident moving forward. Okay, this may be a little bit rash, this may be a little bit out of your character, but I feel like you are moving forward, and you're moving forward in a very risky way, where I feel like you have your doubts, you have your reservations, but I feel like you kind of know that this is going to pay off in the long run. Okay, it's like you're trusting more of yourself. You're putting your belief forward than the evidence, and I feel like I like this look on you. Okay? You're moving forward, and you're moving forward in a very rash way, where I feel like outsiders or a third party might even look at this situation or look at you as you being nuts, or you just being really not prepared enough, or just really not putting the, what is it, the cart before the horse. Is that the saying? No, the horse before the cart, whatever. Okay, but I feel like whatever you have been planning or planned, okay, it's going to pay off in the long run, and you just have to do it. Okay, because all these other second opinions, these really outsiders who are just really giving their 2 cents about what you decide to do or how you decide to do it, it's really none of their business, and it's going to be all your business once you decide to make it, because it is your life. Okay, even though it's scary, it's risky, it's really out of your character, really. Okay, I feel like this is fully out of your character, but I feel like life is just full of surprises, and by you doing this, you're just really pushing yourself, or you really pushing yourself on the edge of that cliff, where I feel like you can actually feel what it feels like to have that feeling of liberation or exhilaration. It's like that is what you have been searching for. That is what you have been missing, is that feeling of risk taking, that feeling of really just trusting that everything will work out in your favor. And that's truly all you need. Now, you are fully supported, you are fully protected, and I feel like it's even better for you to even celebrate right now, because I don't know what it is with this energy that I feel like you just are embodying right now when it comes to confidence, when it comes to really just stepping forward and moving forward in a way that you've never done before. But also I feel like I said, it's more so of you getting out of your comfort zone, because I feel like in order for you to actually get to that next level, you have to really do things that is sometimes out of your character, that's sometimes risky, that sometimes really not really doesn't make a lot of sense at the beginning or in the beginning, but it's going to make a lot of sense after the fact. Okay, but I can say you are just okay. I got the 4 of Wands and the 2 of Cups. You're fully supported when it comes to your spirit guides, when it comes to your protection, when it comes to anything failing. It cannot fail, okay, because you have this je ne sais quoi about you when it comes to just your energy and your aura. I feel like you're just someone who's destined to succeed in anything that you put your mind towards. And I feel like even accidentally in your past, you have really done things that you probably didn't think that you could do or succeed at, but you have succeeded, or you have really exceeded your expectations, rather than really disappointing them. Even though I feel like you've had situations that could have played out differently, or it could have played out worse, but it turned out okay. And I feel like you really have to take that into account as well when it comes to you doing this risk taking, you being the daredevil, you just really doing something so spontaneous and that's out of your character. Okay, even with other people, I feel like they may look at this and see this, that maybe they think you're going through a crisis, or they think something is seriously going on, but I feel like you are truly just in the zone, or locked in, as they like to say nowadays. Okay. But also I got the 7 of Wands. Like I just said, you're locked in. You feel that there's no one in your way at this point. Like, I feel like you're willing to do and be everything that you can do to get there. Like, nothing can get in your way. I feel like you're so determined that you're willing to drop or leave anything that has threatened to get in your way when it comes to this vision of yours. Okay, when it comes to this vision of yours, or just what you want, okay? Because I feel like you have certain expectations, certain standards that I feel like you set for yourself, and maybe people in your life right now just aren't meeting those standards, or just aren't meeting those expectations that I feel like you live up to. You're continuing to live up to, and continuing to outgrow your old version of yourself. But I feel like it's like you're moving timelines, like you're shifting timelines so fast, because you are having these really just awakening mindsets when it comes to upgrading yourself and upgrading life. And I feel like for you to actually do that, you have to really get out of that comfort zone, or just really get out of that environment, so that you can really be something you don't expect to be, but you know that it's going to be great. Okay? And there's gonna be some haters, there's gonna be some talkers, there's gonna be some gossiping, but I feel like that's all that is. It's just background noise, and you are just pure energy and pure action at this point. Okay, there's no sense of looking back or paying attention to what's around, or the noise that's around, because I feel like that's what it is. That's all that there is. It's just noise. Okay, but I feel like you really just working up this type of courage, you being this type of bravery, is a new look for you. I don't know why it comes shocking to others. Like, I feel like, I don't know why it comes shocking to others. And people may give their 2 cents. People may really try to hinder you, or really stop you in your tracks, or really just try to bring your momentum down when it comes to your vision, when it comes to where you're going. I feel like they just don't understand you, of where you're coming from, because they're not on your level. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. They're just not on your level. In order for them to actually understand where you're coming from, they have to be where you're at. And unfortunately, they're not where you're at. Okay. They're not where you're at. It's just like you are at the edge of that cliff, ready to feel the wind in your face as you fall down. Okay, because you know it doesn't even matter whether you fall or not, because you know you're gonna get right back up. You know that there is going to be a better outcome no matter what decision you decide to make. Like, I feel like you just have wings, you know? It's like when Red Bull gives you wings, you give yourself wings. Like, I feel like that was a bad analogy, but it's like that. Like, I feel like you can make no wrong, you can do no wrong. Okay, there is no sense of wrong direction, because you're willing to make it work. Okay, you're willing to make anything work in your favor. Like, I feel like I said, I feel like you're being truly guided, you're being truly protected. I feel like you have been seeing signs as well, like when it comes to synchronicity numbers. Okay, 333, 444 is the numbers that's really popping up in my head right now. Also, don't be afraid to disappoint. Okay, because 9 of Swords. Don't be afraid to disappoint. Don't be afraid to really let down some people, to really just not really dwell in other people's feelings, not really match other people's energies when it comes to what you're doing. Okay, because you're gonna disappoint some people, you're gonna let some people down, you're going to really not please everyone, okay, based on your decisions, and especially family. Okay, so even with family, I feel like your close circle may not understand what you're doing, or may just be disappointed, and really it's truly not up to them, it's truly up to you. And maybe it's best for them to watch on the sidelines, it's best for them to really just watch from afar, or love you from afar. Because if you have this, I don't know, I feel like you have been having this feeling, or like you having this urge to leave an environment, to leave a space, whatever you're in right now. I feel like you have an urge, or just a feeling to like leave and go somewhere else, where I feel like you can develop more, because where you're at now, it's not really helping. Okay, because if you have people in the ear telling you one thing and you're feeling another thing, it's gonna be confusing. You're gonna feel confused, you're gonna feel like, what is this? Okay, what am I feeling right now? This is not where I want to be. And all these random feelings, these gut feelings, it's not coincidence. It's not just random, okay? It's truly your desire pulling you towards that direction, pulling you towards a better direction where you can actually get that clarity that you have been wanting or that you have been seeking, even when you're not even seeking. You don't even know it yet unless you decide to want to do something, and then it makes sense. Okay, it's like after you make that first step, you understand why you made it. After you make it, sometimes it just takes for you to actually do something for you to understand it better. Okay, because people in your ear telling you that you can't do something or it's not possible or it doesn't make any sense, it doesn't matter, because it's not their life, it's your life. It makes sense to you. It makes perfect sense to you, and that's that. Like, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. It's not funny. Also, I feel like people have been wanting to say something. Okay, five stars. Someone wants to say something to you, but they're not saying it. Okay, so I feel like there's some information that's being withheld or withhold. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's something just being withheld. Something I feel like you don't know about, but I feel like it may just be about you. What is this information that is possibly being withheld? Ooh. Okay. 10 of Cups. This person doesn't want you to possibly leave. What the heck was that? Possibly like leave them or just leave their side. I feel like this person wants you in their life, but there's a possibility that you might be leaving, and once you leave, you're like leaving for good, and when you leave, you're like leaving out of their life. So it's like this person has had this vision, or has had this like long-term vision with you in the picture and the vision. And I feel like by you really maybe even showing an inkling doubt or giving this information or new information, I feel like that vision may just be dismantled by this new wave of identity that I feel like you're experiencing right now. And it's not your fault. Like I said, don't be afraid to disappoint people. Don't be afraid to let go of people. Don't be afraid to really just let people down, because that is just a part of life. In order for you to actually feel fulfilled and being content with your life, you have to move forward comfortably. In order for you to do that, I can't speak today. In order for you to do that, you have to really be willing to disappoint people, be willing to let some people down, even when you do love them, okay? Because that is what requires for you to develop and for you to level up, okay? And down the road, they will understand. Down the road, over time, they will understand. And it doesn't mean it's end all be all, okay? It doesn't mean it's your fault. It doesn't mean you should feel bad. It doesn't mean you should really beat yourself up about it or really have second thoughts about it. Because what if you do regret it? What if you do resent them? What if you do? So it's like, it's a double-edged sword, okay? It's a double-edged sword. So I feel like, would you rather really be in one spot and really be unhappy, or just move on and really be temporarily sad, but then potentially change your whole life for the better, okay? Because you never know what is at the end of that rainbow, okay? You never know what type of situation, what type of possibility, what type of opportunity that could be waiting on the other side of that rainbow, okay? Could be a lot of gold, okay? It could be nothing, but then again, you at least you took the leap. At least you believed yourself more enough to actually do it, okay? Because some people aren't willing to like take that leap, but I feel like you have the fire, you have the really determination, you have the spark that I feel like a lot of people lack. And I feel like you are meant for greatness. You're meant to really lead, or just live a more, I don't want to say live a more exciting life. I feel like you have been wanting some sort of excitement, some sort of exhilarating feeling when it comes to life. But right now at this point, it's all about you. Okay? And you really have to show that for yourself. You have to show up for yourself. Okay? You can't really, it's time for you to not rely on anyone else to give you that validation, to give you that permission to really feel what they're feeling. It's really truly all about you, and that's it. Okay, really just keep that in mind and remember that. Okay, you are great and you will stay great no matter what. Okay, that is all, my loves. Thank you for tuning in, and I love you.